Good morning, viewers, and welcome to week 15 of our Can You Fix Nigeria Challenge. I have with me today Dr. Dapo Adegbaju, and we're going to be speaking about sports development or sport redevelopment in Nigeria. Dr. Dapo, you are welcome to today's discussion.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. So, Dr. Dapo, actually, when we were growing up, we used to call you the Oracle of Sports. So so I knew that I will have probably my best guests for today. I'm actually hopefully that a lot of our viewers will love listening to you as we discuss the sport. But one of the things that really has baffled me in the last few years, Doc, is how much we have retrogressed in terms of sport development in Nigeria. I mean, you and I sat together as young people and we watched Barcelona 92 at the Olympics. Yeah, we watched Atlanta 96 together. I remember Barcelona, we took 3 silver medals, 1 bronze medal, 4x100 meters. Kayode Oluyemi, Chidi Imo, Olopade Adenekan, the Ezinwa brothers. I mean, you go to the women's side, Falila Ogunkoya, the Queen of Tracks, Marion Yali, Chionwa Juma, Christian Para Thompson. We watched all those guys together. They dominated in Africa, dominated in the world. Boxing, Inzoreti, David Inzoreti, we saw them in wrestling. So many guys like that we saw. My problem though, Doc, is this. If you look at it since Atlanta 96, I don't think we've had a good Olympics outing. I don't think so, personally. I mean, I went to see a lot of London 2012. It was really disappointing. We had 1 or 2 things come up here and there. Fatima Yusuf, and the gentleman, Chikumerije, who did a few things for us in Taekwondo. But since 96, 2000, we have basically not done anything at the world stage. What do you think is causing this problem? What is the cause of this problem in your view?
Yeah, my brother, things have really gone down south since then. The level of investment in sport has really gone down. You talked about Atlanta 96. Even as at then, we were complaining. It took a Segun Odegbami to actually more or less finance Chioma Ajunwa to that historic gold medal, if you can remember. He practically took Chioma on his shoulders to get Chioma that gold medal, apart from the gold medal in football that, of course, we still celebrate up to today.
Yeah.
But up till now, things have really gone down south. Investments. In Atlanta 96, Great Britain, I think, won about 2 gold medals. And since then, they went back and invested. Only God knows how much billions they went in investment. And it paid off in London 2012.
Correct.
To show you the planning. But our own, no, there's no planning, there's no funding. Things have really gone down south. If you want to talk of football, if you want to talk of any sport now, it's either there's infighting in the federation, there's no longer enough funds coming in. I'll give you a typical example. Basketball is one of the few areas we can do very well in this country. Infighting between a certain group and the Kida group and another group is stalling the growth of basketball in this country. You can imagine. You mentioned Falila Ogunkoya, Marion Yali. These are products of the National Youth Sports Festival.
Correct. I was going to ask you about that.
National Sports Festival, which is something we look forward to in this country. I mean, it's a way to groom our talent, to nurture talent. I can tell you now, it's practically ground into a halt because it's no states. I mean, states are not prepared to host it again. People are not spending much in that area. And if you don't nurture talents, they won't suddenly grow up from anywhere, and then you become world beaters. You need to invest in athletes, and then you don't look for immediate results. You groom them, and then you sort of follow up, and then you look for like maybe 4, 6, 8 years down the line. That's when you start reaping. That's when you start reaping the result of your investment. But Nigeria, the only federation now in Nigeria that I can beat my chest and say, yes, they are doing very well is the Wrestling Federation. And why is this? It is because of the effort of Daniel Igali. If you remember Daniel Igali, he left
gold medalist. Correct.
For Canada, not for Nigeria.
Yeah,
for Canada.
For Canada, yes. He left from Nigeria to join Canada.
He became a gold medalist, and due to his patriotic zeal, I really admire that guy. He came home in fact, he left behind the laws of Canada, came home to start investing in wrestling. He will use his personal fund. He will go out begging state government to fund the programs of that association. And to God be the glory, he has been able to produce Adekunroye, who we are looking forward to as our surest bet
for the next
Dioduduru. I mean, he has brought up talent in wrestling that we are now looking forward to, that maybe they will do something at the forthcoming
Olympics.
Olympics. That is how bad it's gone.
Doc, I think I agree with you, and you made a point now that I completely agree with. And you talked about long-term planning. 1996, like you said, Britain had 2 gold medals. We had 2 gold medals. 1992, we had 3 silver, and we were on the same level with Jamaica. But look at what Jamaica did between 1992 and now.
Oh God, mind-blowing.
What Jamaica did. Look at how many gold medals Britain went away, and they focused on cycling. And every Olympics, they will go in and take 20, 30, 40 medals in cycling alone.
Exactly.
And we have those advantages in things like boxing, in wrestling, in weightlifting. Well, I mean, it's unbelievable that we're not doing this. But then that was one thing that you mentioned. The second thing you mentioned is this infighting. I will not, and you mentioned the KIDA group. It's a bit surprising because some of these people you are mentioning are very well-respected people in society. Do you understand?
Yeah.
These are well-respected people. So why is it that even our professional class, people who are educated and they are good people, why is it that we can't seem to fix basic things in this country? Why? KIDA,
I think basically it has to do with ego. It has to do with ego. Without me, no one else can do it. Look, if I have my way, I don't know. I mean, the one in basketball is so annoying. I won't deceive you. It's so annoying that even lucrative contracts have been placed on hold because of this infighting. I mean, there was an idea of a floated African basketball league. Because of this infighting, it has remained in the cold. This is a money spinning league that is supposed to cater for the welfare of these basketballers in Africa. I mean, you are supposed to play basketball around the continent, and Nigeria is not participating. It's really annoying. Wow. All because of, if it's not our group, it cannot be the other group. I mean, they've been going to court cases have been flying around, and International Basketball Federation, FIBA 2. I mean, if FIBA wants to put look, let them take a step. But FIBA 2, I mean, I don't know. It's becoming more and more messy day by the day. FIBA will say one thing, another thing will come up tomorrow. They will go to the court next tomorrow. I mean, we need, if you want to move sports forward in this country, we need to bury some of our egos. It's not a matter of without me, no one else can do it. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that philosophy. There are so many people can do it.
Okay, but Doc,
so don't count yourself as if you are the only one.
Okay, so let me pause at this point and say something. Now, some of our listeners will be wondering, Adekunle, you're talking about, can you fix Nigeria? Why is sport so important that we're bringing it to the issue of a national issue? Do you see what I mean? Why are we bringing this, in your view? I have my own views on this, but what is your view? Why do you think we need to bring sport to an issue of national importance? Please go ahead, Doc.
Very good. As you know, sport is for the youth. If you know, majority of the sports that are going around now is for the youth. You need to use this mechanism to get the youth engaged. I mean, if there are so many people now who want to express their talent, get them engaged so that, number one, you will end up stopping vices.
Correct. Okay.
You end up, so people will channel their energy into another different sector entirely. All you need to do is provide the enabling facilities, the enabling. I mean, if it's law, environment to make these talents flourish. A good example, Kule, we all have rivers in Ondo State, in Edo State, in why is it that we cannot use kayaking? There's what we call kayaking. There's what we call canoeing in the Olympics. Why can't we invest in all these sports that we have natural endowments to do? That will rake in these medals for us. We end up concerned. I'm a football fan, I won't deny it. But football is just one gold medal.
Yes.
Now, kayaking can rake in like 12. Canoeing can rake in like 12. Why must we? It's as if it's either football or nothing in Nigeria. The whole effort of the government, even state government, is placed on football. Like I said, it is taking the life of Daniel Igali to get Bayelsa government. In fact, Bayelsa government, maybe because that's his own state, Bayelsa government is practically the #1 supporter of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation today.
I see.
Because of the personality of Daniel Igali.
I see.
Now, this is why I have a problem. It should not be a person thing. It should be a system thing. Because if Daniel Igali resigns today, that wrestling federation might become comatose.
It will collapse. Yeah, I see. Okay, but Doc, okay. So let me come down now to the next thing, because I want to. You mentioned the fact that we need to develop at the youth level, and I agree with you. When you and I were younger people, there used to be a youth fund under 17. The likes of Victor Ikpeba, Jide Oguntuashe, all those guys came from that. You look at the Nuga games.
Yeah.
John Okon, Adeolu Adekola, Aloy Agu, Folorunsho Kenla, all of those guys came from the Nuga games. Do you understand? These days, we don't do things like that. Why is it that, okay, so you mentioned, those things are all dead. From what you're saying to me now, it looks like those things are dead. But why are they dead? Is it an organizational issue or a funding issue? What is it?
It is both. Organizational issue is there. People are just fighting to head those organizations now. When we were young, Youth Fund was the in thing we look. In fact, you'll be hearing Youth Fund in the news practically on a daily basis.
Correct.
Because the system was working. Now, Youth Fund is virtually dead. That is the truth, unless we want to deceive ourselves. You talked of the Nuga games. The Nuga games is becoming haphazard. I mean, these are where talents were discovered. That is where funding is necessary. A system to make this thing run on its own is necessary so that it does not become an individual thing. An individual can decide to run this thing. Hello?
I'm with you, doctor. Please go ahead.
Hello?
I'm with you, doc. Please go ahead.
I want to run this thing and be successful. But you see, when that individual goes, it becomes a problem. That is why I said we need to build systems, not individuals. If you build a system, that system will run itself. But if you limit it to an individual, once that individual goes, that passion also goes. So it becomes more or less like, it's just there. When we're talking of Nuga games, these were where, in fact, one of the highlights of the Nuga games is the football competition, if you remember. Correct. That's where Nosa Osadolo playing for OAU.
Correct.
And Adekola playing for Unilag.
Correct.
These are people these are people that will bring excitement. But what do we have now? It's virtually dead. Now they are trying to resuscitate it with the higher institution football league, which is a good thing now. And we pray that the organizers start building on their success, because at least 2 of the products of the last high institution football league are now playing in Hong Kong, and they intend to move to greater heights in Europe. So these are it's like we are trying to rejig the system again. But see, we need a total overhaul
of that system.
Selflessness, because some people also go into all this thing with what they can gain. We need to be selfless. It is not about money, how much is going to accrue to me. No. I mean, we need to be more selfless to make us sacrifice. Daniel Igali is doing a lot of sacrifice. He can afford to corner out the money Bayelsa state government is giving to him if he wants to.
Okay, so Doc, now let me take you, because it seems that one of the biggest issue is the issue of funding. So let's look at this issue of funding between you and I now, and let's bring it home for our viewers. Now, I remember that when we were younger, yeah, there used to be the mobile track and field event, annual event sponsored by ExxonMobil in Nigeria. For years, more than 30 years, they put on hundreds of millions or whatever it was to sponsor that event, annual event. That event brought us people like Yaya Tetengi, the first local guy to beat Chidimo. You know, we had that. I think about 6 or 7 years ago, Exxon decided that they are no longer going to sponsor that event because Mobil Oil was pulling out of Nigeria. But my question is, we have other big organizations in Nigeria, MTN, GTB, Zenith, Dangote, and there's a lot of positivity in that. Why is it difficult for us to get another Nigerian company to pick up what Exxon had done for almost 30 years? How is it impossible? Why can't we get somebody else to pick this up?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that question. And it still baffles me. I know that some of them are trying. They are doing, you know, the Exxon Mobil thing, track and field, is a myriad of a set of disciplines.
Correct.
100 meters up to marathon level. You know, it's yeah. So what majority of all these new companies are now doing is to pick out just one, and majority of them are emphasizing now on the marathon, access marathon. I don't know why. And I think the problem now is no company wants to invest in an area where there will not be accountability. I think that's where the problem is.
I see.
That's why they are taking one spot. Because when ExxonMobil was sponsoring, there were so many scandals. You know, athletes will come from overseas, they will not be paid what is due to them. Even the ones at the local level will not be given the required allowance. You know, there is so much noise. In fact, years after the track and field event had been concluded, athletes will still be complaining of not being paid what they are supposed to get. And you know, all these things get to the sponsors because they bring down the money.
Correct.
That have been calculated. They will just, okay, this is the money. Go and do these events. And they expect those events to go smoothly. There should be no talk of money being owed anybody because these are money that should have been calculated.
Correct.
And when the sponsors are hearing things like, you are still owing me money, I mean, it looks somehow to them that, and you know, it's a corporate image thing. They will now be in the eye of the storm.
Because it will be audited. Yeah, it will be audited by their own companies. Yeah.
Exactly. So no company wants to be in the eye of a storm for the negative reasons. And I think that's why majority of all these new companies are just picking one event so that at least that one looks more manageable to them, even though I'm still hearing so many stories, backroom stories, back stories about some of these events. Even the last access race that was done before the shutdown last year, there was still some controversy. Some athletes were still complaining they were not being paid. They were not being, I mean, all these things can be discouraging.
I see. Okay, but Doc, now let me take this somewhere else also. I also see, in my view, and please correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? But in my view also, I think our media has a part to play here, yeah? Okay, so now for me, I also think that our media has a part to play, Doc. Now, let me give you an example. When we were at uni level, Saturday was our day of watching sport in Nigeria. We will start by watching Master Sports in the morning. Paul Bassi, Sam Seka, Sam John. Then we'll go and watch Segun Odegbaju on Sports Special. Godwin Dudu Orume, Best of Football. Dr. Henry Nzekwe, Bonvita Sport Classic. You know, we will watch all of those things. So on our Saturdays, we could watch 10, 15 hours of sports back to back over a weekend. Now, what I'm surprised though is that today everything that is all the content that you see, it's foreign. If you remember on NTA, then we will have Akinle Oyebanji come up at 4, Modele Sharafa Yusuf. Yes, all those guys, we had the content as well. Now, my problem is that a lot of people have detached from sport also because everything is foreign. If you're not supporting Manchester and Arsenal and Liverpool, then the rest of it is all gone down the drain. Does our media, do we need to find a way of reintroducing local content back into our sport? How do you see that?
Well, Kunle, to be fair to the media, because I need to be fair at this point, they are trying their bit. I won't deceive you. There are so many sports stations now. There are so many sports stations now in Nigeria, and they try to at least add local content. There's one sports zone that I listen to virtually Mondays to Friday. They talk about local content. They talk about the National League, the Professional League, which is even our elite league. There are some of these stations that also go and even talk about the Football League, which is the lower division. I mean, they are trying their bits.
Okay, great.
The problem is just, it has to do with organization. I mean, gone are the days when Rangers will want to play a Kano Pillars and the stadium will be very full. In fact, will be full to the brim. But because of marketing thing, you see, the way we market our league is not really encouraging. And it has to do with from the sport administrators to the clubs themselves. I look at the South African League and I shake my head. But why is the South African League more known? It is on TV.
It's on TV, exactly, yeah.
You see a Sundown playing a Maritzburg. I'll be forced to watch because there's nothing to watch on the local scene.
On the local scene. Okay. I think, but Doc, but that's my point exactly. What does it cost an NTA to take a decision to continue to start showing our local league again? Or the federation?
Thank you, Kule. Thank you for that question. I am amazed. In fact, there was a time I heard from one sporting the OB van that was used for Nigeria 99.
I remember that, yes. Those are
and Nigeria 2000 and Nigeria 2009. If you remember, we hosted the under-17 World Cup in 2009.
Correct.
Virtually all the equipment used for those two major championships are gone.
Gone where?
In fact, maybe gone into the wind, as I would say. It is that bad. As I talk to you now, the report is that the NTA has only one OB van.
Wow. But that's
so how does one OB van go to all the nooks and crannies of this country?
Correct. I see.
That is the height. That is how we've descended in this country. You can see one OB van for a huge network like NTA. If you look at it now, it has to do with funding, deliberate sabotage, unpatriotic acts by even the citizenry. Because look, I will not put it at government's foot squarely too, because the government is doing its own by not funding it. Even now, the people working there, they are sabotaging. I mean, things that will something that will get spoiled, that will require maybe 200 naira to 200, 300 naira to fix. People, because of what they want to get, they will be cutting 1 million. At the end of the day, it will be left undone, and that's how the thing will depreciate.
Yeah, it will get worse. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Is that bad?
So so I see where you're coming with this, But Doc, let me ask you a question then. See, I'm of the opinion that actually there are a lot of rich Nigerians. Now, the country as a whole is poor. Maybe we're poor, but there are a lot of individuals who are rich, and this is an avenue for somebody, for example, to say, look, I'm buying the local league. Do you understand? I'm putting it on TV, and then build that thing again, and let's see if it goes there. I mean, there are so many people. This is how everybody else does it around the world. Somebody goes there, buys that right for 10, 20 years, and if he makes money at it, good for him, but in the process, he would develop that league and bring it up. So why can't we get our private people to get involved if government cannot fund it?
Thank you, Kunle. I'm sure years past, you will remember Chief MK Wabiola investing in sports.
Yes, correct.
Emmanuel Nwanyanwu.
Yes. Leventis Abiola Babes. Exactly. Stationary stores.
Why did those people go away? When there's no accountability. Look, sports is big business. Nobody wants to put his money and it will go down the drain. Look, there was a time Super Sports was showing the Nigerian Professional League.
Okay.
So what happened to that? What happened to that agreement? If we start looking at those things critically, you'll find out that there's an element of what will accrue to this person is not getting to.
He's not getting to.
There are some shady things that we just don't understand the way things work. Things that work in other countries. Super Sport is showing the Ethiopian League as we speak. Ethiopia.
Can you imagine?
Ethiopian League is on Super Sport. The best we can get from the Nigerian League, Kunle, is streaming services. Streaming services. I think in the last few weeks, NCA now shows one of the major matches in the Nigerian Professional League.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
One. I read about that. They showed the one of Rivers United and Kano Pillars. Yeah, they are showing it. Like I said, I think now people are trying to make baby steps again in trying to revive all these things. And I think the way is that we should encourage whoever is doing all this baby step thing. At least let's encourage them to grow. I believe that if we can allow these people to grow, there's accountability, there is professionalism. These are things that can grow and run itself after some time with a lot of profit. There are potential in this country.
Okay, so Doc, I know I'm concerned.
Only that we need to sit down, put on our thinking cap.
Yeah, okay. So Doc, I know that because I'm also conscious of time. I have two final questions for you then. Two final questions for you. Okay, number one question, you are the sports minister, or you are in a position of power. How would we address it? Just give me a second now, because you see, I'm aware that in places like the UK, sport is not funded directly by government. It's funded from charity money, from betting money. The UK set up this thing under John Mayor and says, okay, most of this money will fund museums, sport, and things like that. So this is one. So this is my first question to you. My second question to you is that, in your view, okay, also if you are sport minister, how would you focus? So I want you to answer two questions for me, the funding question and then the development question. How would you tackle it? Will you focus on a particular sport, or you take an array of sports? How would you do it? Please go ahead, Doc.
Very good. The first one, let's talk about funding. I think the funding is there. Look, the only problem is that we look to government for everything.
Correct.
There are so many companies. There are so many companies in Nigeria. All you need to do is to enact a law that, okay, every year 0.5% of your profits will be put into sports. 0.5 of the profit of a company like MTN, all the telcos in Nigeria,
correct,
plus the company like that,
it's billions.
Is enough. God bless you. It's billions. Those ones will run it. All we need to do, when these people now put in that money, let there be transparency. Let us see where this money goes into. Let us see what we are using it for. It is not a jamboree whereby you just put the money and put it in your pocket. No, let us see what it's being used for. That is what will encourage all those big enterprises to put in more money.
Okay.
And agencies that their money is being channeled. They are maybe in this Olympic. They want to put in more money that maybe in 2024 it will lead to like 3-4 gold medals. You know, you also try to encourage them.
Okay.
That's what you do. On the second question, and then you talked about sport betting. Kunle, there's a lot of sport betting companies springing up in Nigeria.
They're all over the place.
They make a lot of money. Industry now in this country. A lot of difference in our sports development in this country. On your second question, where do I tackle it from? Now, we need to ask ourselves in this country, what do we want? We are a country who thrives more on football. That is the truth. Maybe because it's the king of sports.
Yes.
If I were the sports minister, I love football passionately.
I know
but
that.
I will not invest. I will not put all my eggs in football. No, I would rather put my eggs in wrestling, where the medals are, canoeing, kayaking. All these things can bring, look, boxing. Why are all these superpowers making names? They invest in all those sports. Kayaking, that the normal thing that Ilaje boy will be riding canoe every day on the river. Why don't you announce that talent of that Ilaje boy to become a professional that will earn you medals? Go to the job people. They have streamlined body. Why can't you announce their talent into swimming? Swimming, we all know the medals that come from swimming.
From swimming.
These are medals that.
No, I mean, Doc,
Michael Phelps won Olympics, won eight gold medals. Nigeria will be concentrating on football that has only one gold medal.
You know what shocked me is that recently I was looking at the number of heavyweight champions, boxing heavyweight champions in the world who are fighting under British banner but are Nigerians. Obviously, we all know about Anthony Joshua right now, yeah? But if you look at before Anthony Joshua, Samuel Peters, Nigerian, Eri Akinwande, Nigerian, Habi Hyde, Nigerian. You know, the list goes on and on. And
the one that went to prison, what's his name? The one that went to prison.
They're all Nigerians, exactly. And
there was one that went to prison.
I can't remember that one, actually. But you know, but there's so many of
there's one that went to prison for it because they ran away because the system would not allow them to flourish.
I agree. I mean, the other day
Anthony Joshua came to this country for trials, if you remember.
I remember. I remember. He came to Nigeria for trials. Yeah, I know. And that boy loves this country. He loves this country. So I don't know how it's...
Passionately.
Exactly. So how we are unable to make these things work. If you look at, recently, I was looking at the 4x1 team for Bahrain. In Bahrain right now, half of their teams are Nigerian. Bahrain, Qatar, all those guys, they're all Nigerian people competing for all those countries. We don't have any of these people here back home. I think it's a very sad situation. For me personally, I think it's the easiest way for us to engage our youth. Is one other avenue to engage our youth, and also to improve our national patriotism and nationalism, because we are deficient in that area at the moment. I think. Anyway.
You're right.
Yes. So, Doc, it's been a long one. I hope that we'll be able to get something out of this. But thank you for your time today. Some other time, again, it's week 15 of this challenge. I might still come back to you for one more before we finish. But thank you for your time and sharing your time with us today. I apologize. I can see that you're struggling a bit with your internet and all of that. But
no problem.
Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
All right. All the best. All the best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.